Hello, this is a demonstration of the class photo raster or class dashboard integration into the LMS. We are right now looking at the photo raster, which allows us to see the faces of students, but also indicators about their activity. Now, the first view is of the photo IDs integrated with the campus ID badges. We can also preview the LMS avatars, and the difference is that the avatars are uploaded by the students themselves. And what that means is that you might end up with pictures where it is not quite clear uh, who the student actually is. They might be action shots, multiple students in a picture. Uh, Now, some of them do provide us advantage of having a more current picture, such as a fourth year student versus the freshman picture that was taken for the ID badge. Now, once we have the pictures in place, there are many interesting phenomenon that kick in, and that is faculty are able to create associations of their experiences with faces. So if faculty receive an email from a student and then in the classroom they were able to observe the student, the photo raster helps them to make the connection who that is. Or maybe it was a Zoom class and they never saw the face of the student, and now they have the opportunity to make this association. Or perhaps faculty are trying to remember names of students before the class even starts. This is a great place to do that. Quite a bit of research is being invested in really understanding what it means for a student to hear their name pronounced correctly during graduations, but also during class, and how that fosters the idea of belonging in academic life, but continues to really build the learning community of the class. So, what's the extended functionality of our photo raster? Well, in addition to viewing the avatars in the LMS, we can also see gravatars, which are self-submitted pictures for social media, such as WordPress. And so you might find it where the avatar or even the campus ID is not available, but maybe you can catch the picture in gravatars. You also are able to see the breakdown of the class by merged sections. Now, this may especially make a difference in large courses where multiple sections are merged. We've seen courses of 800 and more students, and so then you can either print out subsections or at least preview the subsections of the photo raster. And then breaking things down by groups. So we have study groups, we have various groups that can be created in the LMS, and then we see students divided by that characteristic. Now, once we are viewing the photo raster, we see these added indicators. Now, the indicators tell us, for example, that we left a note as an instructor. I left a note for some reason so that there's a tag for the student. I also see that the student requested a preferred name and that the student has a pronoun reminder for me, and that there is a pronunciation that the student is suggesting. Now, let's see what it means for this particular student. So this student, first name is Simon, that's the preferred name. There's a pronoun of he, and then there is a spelled out pronunciation for me. Now that makes great sense. Now I met with a student earlier during my office hours, and so I made a little note, and I certainly can preview the picture of the student. What are other things I can do? Well, I could click on the link for the statistics, or in the LMS, it will take me to the grade history of the student and their current performance. I could also email the student, and I can then go to Google Translate. Now, this is a very important feature because many students may not find the time to suggest their pronunciation or to go through that extra step of suggesting pronouns. So we can go to Google Translate, and here Google is going to suggest what is the background of the name and then pronunciation. So the student suggested to pronounce it Simon, but I can also listen to what Google says for the ethnic pronunciation of the name. Let's listen to it.
Simon,
And so now I could surprise the student by knowing this detail. But if this was not available, certainly this is a last resort of us trying to peer into what the pronunciation might be. So with the photo roster, we also see this as a course dashboard in that we have indicators such as the user has never logged in. We can see users with a little bell alert. These users have never logged in to the course. And then we have users who have an indicator in that they did not log in the last 7 or more days. Now, when we click on these indicators, it'll take us directly into the retention center. And so the retention center is going to have the LMS avatar self-uploaded by the student, and then indication of how the student is doing according to the rules that we get to define for retention. With that, we can see that we are able to apply some of these human theories to building a learning environment. And that is, we can relate to the faces in a human way. We can then get feedback from students on important identity elements. And we can rein in some of the data analytics, learning analytics that is available in order to help us to contact students and also to follow up with them as needed. And so, as you can see, we have a number of indicators, but we are going to build more so that the dashboard for the course can be somewhere where faculty come back and they get all the information at a bird's eye view to go ahead and assist students in their learning experience. Thank you.